Oh,
Hey,
we're
yeah,
back.
take it away.
CulverRadio.com. Back to Percy Hugo with the wind up of the political commentary.
Yeah, why?
We're going to give him a little extra time. He's wound up today. So
Because
let's go.
were rude. And
Well, there's a lot of
interrupted.
prep. There's a lot of things going on right now.
I have to tell you, this whole ClimateGate thing, if we allow the government to pass what they intended cap and trade, if we allow the transfer of wealth from the West to the poor nations of the world over an idiotic idea like this, we deserve what we get.
We
We deserve what we get.
Even if it's not idiotic, it's at best not concrete.
No child living in the gutters of Calcutta would buy this crap.
No, they wouldn't.
Hey, would you like to save the planet or do you want a job? I'll take the job.
Yeah, I'd like to save my family. But now,
Hey,
there's a couple big.
Percy, it's yours.
There's a couple big issues that we have coming up, or kind of banging around in politics these days. One of which is the surge in Afghanistan, which I didn't have time to get to this week. But let me just go ahead and say, General McChrystal asked for 60,000 troops originally. Obama gave him half of that. Way to go.
Well, to be fair, he said he would settle for 40.
He would settle for 40.
He asked
Yes.
for 40.
Okay, sure. The official asking is for 40. Way to get 3/4 of the job done.
Yeah,
Well,
see,
but,
McChrystal
that's
should realize you asked for 60, so he gives you the
Absolutely.
40.
Right, you're talking.
He doesn't have no idea how to barter.
No, it's
Well, that's because he's a
negotiation.
general, not a politician.
That's negotiation.
This
No,
is
no,
what-
no, no, no. You can't say those generals are not politicians.
They are. They
because
deal with.
They are.
They deal with
They're-
politics, but they're not politicians.
I'm sorry, they're definitely politicians. When you reach the level of general pal, there's a lot of politics that go on.
Yes, but politics isn't your main job.
Oh, no.
Logistics is. But anyways, okay,
No.
that's
No
one thing.
politics?
We'll
What
cover
are you,
that
crazy?
next show. I'll get into that one
All right,
maybe, unless
Percy.
something else crazy happens.
Make
Here's a
your point.
letter. Here's a letter from a reader of Time magazine. You ready for this?
Yeah.
I found it interesting that your cover photo of Nidal Malik Hassan, who apparently killed in the name of God, labels him a possible terrorist. In verbatim, Scott Reeder, who also killed in the name of God, is called the accused shooter. What's the difference between them again? I am less concerned about the 1,000 or so radical Muslims who are highly monitored than I am about the 1,000,000 or so unguarded radical Christians whose hatred is fanned daily by the rhetoric of Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter.
Who the hell wrote that dribble?
It was a guy named David Barry. Not the Dave Barry.
I was going to say Dave Barry.
No, but alright, now...
That's not very funny.
Here's 3 points. No, it's not funny at all. Not from a man who wrote the what happens before a colonoscopy is your best impression of a shuttle launch. That was very funny. But anyways, the 3 points I want to make about this, and you guys can please interject as we go. First of all, this reader does not listen to Rush Limbaugh, nor do they read Ann Coulter. I mean, that's an inference. I understand.
I've
but
read Ann Coulter.
Would you say she fans
I've listened to Rush
hatred?
Limbaugh. What?
Would you say she makes people want to go kill abortion doctors?
No.
Okay. Any more than say...
She's a bit of a bulldog, but
Well, yeah. But would you
she
say...
doesn't incite people to violence.
No,
No.
she's not bad looking.
And they
She's
said
hot.
the radical Christians whose hatred is fanned daily by the rhetoric of Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter. Do you think people sit around and listen to Rush Limbaugh and Ann Coulter, and that's what pushes them over the edge to go kill abortion
No,
doctors?
No, what
I
pushes
believe-
them over the edge is they've got Ariana Huffington and Rachel Maddow, but we have Laura Ingraham, Ann Coulter, Sarah Palin. They're pissed off because
All of a
our
sudden,
women are hot.
All of a sudden, conservatives have hot chicks now.
conservative chicks are hot.
They
And
were all
they get
supposed to
attention.
look like
They get
Margaret
You know
Thatcher.
what? I don't think you can blame this pushing these whack jobs over the edge really on anybody, because I'm
No.
a firm believer that something is going to these people are nutbags. Something is going to stimulate them to go over the edge, regardless of what you may point to.
And not only that, but they assume that we don't think that what Scott Reeder did was an absolute atrocity. The man walked into a church and shot a man in front of his family. He shot Dr.
Sure.
Tiller, the abortion doctor.
Yeah.
And the problem I have is that this reader, this David Barry, asks, what's the difference between them again? I think there's a slight difference
There's
between
a humongous difference.
walking into a church and shooting an abortion doctor, which is a political, I'll give you, it's domestic terrorism. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it is,
It's
but
a
I
politically
can't
motivated
think.
murder.
I can't think of any legitimate anti-abortionist, any pro-lifer who wouldn't be the first on the phone to call the police to stop this guy.
To call that atrocious, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now, can you think of, let's say, somebody who believed as Nidal Malik Hassan allegedly believed, in accordance with Al Qaeda's beliefs and the Taliban's beliefs, and general radical Islam? Could you see Osama bin Laden picking up the phone to stop
This
Nidal
is
Hassan.
all part of the same fundamental concept. You never let a good crisis go to waste.
It is.
If we can label conservative Christians in the same, paint them with the same brush as we paint Islamic extremist terrorists, well, there you go. They've fulfilled a purpose or a function in life.
I'm sorry, you just can't though. Like
I
the
know you
evidence-
can't, but
the
that's what
evidence
they're trying to
is
do.
against it.
You
know,
got your
radical
Timothy
Christians-
McVeighs and people
Yes,
like
It
that.
comes down to that thing
But these
where
guys are on their own.
it
They
comes
are.
down to that thing where if you say it enough, you say it often, you say it loud,
You start to believe it yourself.
believe it.
They're trying to make it. Yeah, they're trying to turn it
Even
into
Bill
fact.
Maher said that he thought the West was superior in this because when we get nuts like this, and as long as they haven't done any damage, we laugh at them, that sort of thing. We have a tendency to dismiss them.
Right.
In the fundamentalist Islamic community, they hold them up as shining examples.
They embrace.
They embrace them. We shun them.
Yeah,
That's the
and-
big difference.
Now, another thing to go on record, Nidal Hassan was called an alleged shooter by the following: The Telegraph, which is a London-based newspaper, ABC News, Times Online, and New York Daily News, and I found all those examples in 2 minutes with one Google search.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. He was called an accused shooter or an alleged shooter. So he wasn't just called a terrorist outright. I called him a terrorist.
Well,
But not every major media outlet sat there and called this guy a terrorist and condemned him before they called the other guy an alleged shooter, even though the other guy is a shooter according to eyewitnesses,
Is it me?
and the other guy is a
Is
terrorist.
it me or is the word alleged used allegedly too much?
Yeah,
that's what you allege.
it's allegedly too much. And another thing, 2 quick quotes that show how the left feels about the right, or
Make
at
'em
least how
quick.
the left feels. Jesse Jackson recently said, "You can't call yourself a black man if you don't vote for health care." Genius. Thanks,
You
Jesse.
can't call yourself a black man.
If you don't
Well,
vote for health care.
I guess I can't call myself a black
Yeah.
man, but I was kind of counting on that.
Yeah, I guess Michael Steele's not black either.
No.
And then Harry Reid today compared people who do not support the health care bill to people who support it, or people who wanted to stop
Slaveholders.
the legislative process on abolishing slavery, and people who wanted to stop the legislative process on women's
Are
suffrage.
you sure this is what Harry
Yes.
Reid
This
said?
is exactly what he
Oh
said.
no!
Quite a
Look!
stretch.
You know, our theme here is be reasonable.
That
Only
was
a
totally
moron
unreasonable.
would say something like that.
Uh,
and I have it hard.
You just
Moron.
made your
He
Yeah.
may be
I
creepy,
agree.
but I don't think he's not a moron, is he?
Look it up.
He's a moron.
He is a mo. Harry Reid is the moron of the week.
You know, he does say some incredibly
Dense.
unusual things from time to time.
Dense.
Hey, whatever
Incredibly
happened to that
dumbass.
Desiree Rogers, that social secretary girl?
Oh, her? They're
Yeah.
not going to let her testify. They're claiming executive privilege.
How can that be? She's not an executive.
She works in the executive branch. They can
Right.
claim that.
Yeah, just like George Bush did.
Well, anyway, I'm sorry, but we're going to have to cut this off and come back
No,
with our
it's okay.
conclusion. But, you know, I got to tell you, Percy, you did your work.
Yeah.
Good
Well,
work.
all right, thank you guys very much. This is
Thoughtful
cultureradio.com. We'll be
Well
back
done,
with the
Grasshopper.
conclusion. Take it away, John.
Bye. We'll be back in a minute.
Bye.